Shalom, beloved family. It's your girl Sophia Spiritualite, and I have had some people ask me about how to um, use the pendulum a little bit more detail. So I'm going to bring you a frontward facing video. I have a few pendulums here, and we're going to talk about, I guess I would call it like pendulum etiquette. So first, um, this is my regular pendulum that I use regularly. Now, this is the one that I made. And I'll just tell you a minute the benefits of using one that you make yourself or one that is um, specially made as opposed to the ones that they put out there. These ones that I make, number one, they have a bunch of different elements in them, and based on if it was specifically programmed for the moon or specifically for your guardian angel, um, I have a combination of stuff in here that's specific for that. They also have ones that you can get like off of Etsy that are that have all the chakra chips in it. That my moon magic pendulum does have all the chakra chips in it too, but it's not only that. They have ones that are specifically for like love or other things. So you want to try to get one as specific for what you're trying to do as possible. This is my everyday one. This is my go-to. This is the one that I start with every day when I do. It's already spinning. When I do, when I have to ask a question or whatever the case may be. This is my everyday one. Okay. This is the nicest one that I have, and I'm still fussing with the Most High about this. This is like gold plated. This is the one I use to communicate directly with the Most High. Like I said, I schedule meetings, so I just go in there and talk with him and the mother. This is the one that I use for that. Or because it's gold plated, if I need to talk with Brother Melchizedek, Michael, whatever, this is the one that I would use for that. And because it's gold, I also have one that's copper, that's for Venus. I tried to get one in all the 7 different ones, but then I ended up realizing, or for me, it was much better to just use either this one because it's gold, it covers pretty much everybody, or to use my regular pendulum, or I have one, like I said, for the moon specifically. So I just kind of go with one of those. So if I need to talk with Safikiel, Saturn, Shabbatai, I will use my one that's for Venus because it's close, or I'll use my one for the sun because I'm not getting a lead pendulum. That's kind of weird. Although I did just make an all black pendulum, which as soon as it's cured, I'll be talking to y'all about that. So I just try to get one that I can identify with the entity, because when you're dealing with the spheres, the different levels, they have different frequencies, and the closer you can tune into that frequency, the more correct your responses will be. So since the guardian angels are mostly on this frequency, the one for the guardian angels has a lot of earthbound stuff. They have, all my pendulums that I make, they have the acacia wood in there, and they have gold, they have Ethiopian opal. That's and deer antler and salt, and yeah, that's basically the base. And then this one, this is an old model, so this is like one of my first ones. So it's got gold in it. It's got green quartz and rose quartz. So because this is like one of the very first ones that I made. So, but an earthbound one, you would want to use stuff that has a lot of earth elements in it. Okay, so this one is very special. I don't think I've ever shown this one in public, but I call this my ancestor pendulum. And so what I do with as you can see, it's very short. So I don't use this for yes or no questions. I use this for energy field activation. So if I was going to do an energy healing on somebody, 9 times out of 10, I would use this one. There's another one that I want to get that's specifically for that, and I'll probably make one that's bigger, so it will, they have really big pendulums that you can, really clear out the spheres with this, because the whole thing about the pendulum is it's a two-way communication like a candle, but you can also, because it has motion unlike a candle, you can use it to clear out different spheres. So for example, in my Rhabdomancy course, which I don't really like to talk about too much what's in my course, because I don't want people to think that they got to go to my course in order to get the information. I got the information off the internet. I just modified it for our use. You can go and get it off the internet too. If you look, you can find it. But what I have people do, one of the activities is to activate abundance into your energy field, and we use a small pendulum like this to activate. And not going to give away too much, but I want to tell y'all how that works, because then you can use Bible verses to activate your energy fields. You can use different mantras. People who are doing mantras, I just thought about that. You might want to use your pendulum while you're doing the mantra to activate your energy field. That's a good idea. Different things. So to activate different things into your energy field, you spin it clockwise. And this one is pretty easy to spin clockwise. That's why it's so small. If I had a real big one, it would be really difficult to spin it clockwise or counterclockwise. So activating something into your energy field is clockwise. Then when you deactivate, you go counterclockwise, like this. So I'm not sure if it looks backwards on the camera, but and then the way that I have heard people describe it is, the reason why you want to go kind of fast is because you're moving the energy fast. And if you were going slow, like activating it slow, then you would be moving the energy slow. So if it's like a really heavy energy, you may want to start slow and then speed up and then like slow back down, because you can control the speed of the pendulum when you're using it for activation and deactivation. So like I said, you can take the Psalm, you could do Psalm 91, activate all that stuff into your energy field, or like, purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean, wash me and shall be whiter than snow. Purge me with hyssop and I shall be clean, wash me and shall be whiter than snow. And activate that thing into your energy field. That's one way you can. Another way you can use the pendulum, that a lot of people are not going to use it like that because it's different. So, like I said, this is my ancestor pendulum. That's what I use it for. So you can use one with a longer. So it's not that I can't use this one, right? But I would have to hold the string so that it could be shorter. And then this one's so light. See, the thing about this one is very, very light. This one is a little bit heavier. And when you're activating energy, you kind of want something that is a little bit heavier, because otherwise you can't control the speed because it's too light. This one's a little bit heavier. I can actually control the speed on this one. On this one, I'll show y'all what I mean. On this one, so I would have to make it real short. This is so light. I can't control the direction. It's controlling the speed is not, but I have to even move my wrist more to use it. And the whole thing about the energy activation portion is that when you're trying to activate something to your energy field, you have to actually move it. Whereas when you are just asking yes or no questions, you just have to hold your hand still. So you want something so it could be a lot of like pressure on your wrist. And so if you're a person who has bad wrists and stuff like that, it's much better to go. I know it's counterintuitive, but it's better to go with a heavier one that can actually, you don't have to move because it's got its own momentum. As a lighter one, it doesn't, because it's really picking up on the energies that's coming in. And so one of the questions I also saw was, how do you, what is the word? Y'all, I can't think of the word. Like, how do you start? Like, how do you, what is that word? Y'all, I can't think of the word. Not activated, but get it in alignment. How do you get into alignment with it? So the first thing you want to do, first of all, you want to hold this thing. The length of the string is extremely important with the pendulum. If you hold it like this, you're not going to you don't hold it. I've seen, it depends on the length of the string. If it has a long string, like this one has a long string, I wouldn't hold it like this if it has a long string. Because it's going to be very difficult for your energy to go through. Now, if you have one this one's shorter than this one, as you can see, this one's about half the length of this one. So this one you could. I have only seen men hold it like that. I'll be honest. To I prefer to hold it like this, like I've shown y'all. Now, the thing about this is the length of this string makes a difference. As a beginner, that's why the ones I sell now, they're not this long. As a beginner, this is pretty long for a string, because that's a lot of energy that has to be pushed through. Because it's a lot of energy that has to be pushed through. This one is a much more appropriate length for a beginner, because you can hold it over like this. As you can see, I just have, it's just like a little bit that I'm holding over, and it's not, it's less than 2 hand lengths long. So it's not as much. It gives it enough space to move without it being like, overbearing or, difficult in some other kind of way. And I can still, clearly the message is going through. You see that we're getting a reaction. All right. So with one that has a super long string, like I said, I don't recommend that. If you're going to make your own, about 6 inches of chain is plenty. Then you're going to be dealing with the length. So you have to kind of go through and see which length gives you the best response. And the way that because it's a fulcrum, it's a fulcrum. So you may think it's even up here. You may think it's even down here. It's whatever sphere you're dealing with is the length that they need in order to respond. And so it's not really up to you. It's really what length do they need to properly respond. So that's why this is way too long, because most of the time it's less. So you could start it really short, like 1 hand length, and see, please show me yes. Please show me yes. And that's how you activate it, or the word I can't think of. Please show me yes. And you can see it's giving me yes, but it don't look comfortable. It's very disjointed, right? So that's a little bit too short. So then you go to like 2 hand lengths. 2 hand lengths, right? There we go, 2 hand lengths. So then you can go here. Please show me yes. Please show me yes. And yes is either, now they say that this is subjective. I happen not to think that. When you're dealing with positive entities, your yes is going to be like this. It's going to be, more than likely, it's going to be clockwise because of the who we are. Now, the Gentiles, I have seen all kinds of crazy things happen when they ask, show me yes. It gives them counterclockwise. It gives them all kinds of stuff. 9 times out of 10, for dealing with the positive entities, clockwise is going to be a yes. You know that you're dealing with a positive entity if your yes is clockwise. Now, negative entities, the actual thing, it moves like this. It's very, very, there's no vibration in it. Like this way. Okay, Menadel, can you please show me yes? And etiquette, please, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go in peace, all of that. As you can see, the yes is, there's a vibe. You can see the vibration to it. I can see it. You can see the vibration to it. It's not just like straight. You can see the vibration. You're dealing with negative entities. It will be like this. It'll be very, and I'm not going to call one in just so y'all can see it. Absolutely not. But it'll be very, very straight. Very, very like, there won't be no vibration to it. It's without vibration. The positive entities, they have vibration. The negative entities don't have vibration. So if you're getting a very, very straight, rigid type of thing, you're probably dealing with a negative entity. You may want to spray you some Florida water, light you some incense, and get it out of there so that you're not interacting with that. But you should be able to identify that. Theirs is very rigid and very straight and counterclockwise. And positive entities are clockwise. And this is why you start with calling your guardian angel. He's like I just did. Menadel, can you please show me yes? See? Call their name. Please show me yes. Let's start with yes. Menadel, can you please show me yes? Okay? And my yeses are normally like this, up and down. Sometimes I get a circle. If I get a circle yes, I know that's a yes, but I'm not too sure. You might not want to do that. It's a yes, it'll work, but it's not yes, it's the best solution. All right, so Menadel, can you please show me no? And as you can see, there's a clear counterclockwise for no. It's very clear count. I can't exaggerate that. It's there's a no. You know, this is counterclockwise. That's a no. And even their no, there's still vibration. There's still vibration in their no. So when you're dealing with the guardian angels, let's just ask. Okay, Menadel, for all of our beloved viewers out here, when they're dealing with the guardian angels, would all the guardian angels give them a counterclockwise yes or up and down yes like you do? Okay, this is what Menadel says. Yes, all of the guardian angels are going to be clockwise, counterclockwise, or like this, very rapid up and down. This is what I normally get when I'm over the target. I get this kind of response. Oh yeah, definitely, like excited. Okay, so now you know we have the answer. Menadel says counterclockwise or up and down is yes, no, counterclockwise, and sometimes side to side, depending. You have to make sure. The most difficult thing is to get your question into a yes or no answer, and then you have to wait to respond. You have to wait for a response, and you have to make sure you're not asking too many questions at the same time. I did this the other day. I asked the question, but then I asked the inverse of the question at the same time, so it was giving me a yes, and it was like no, and it was like yes, because I was asking too many questions at once. Sometimes I do ask questions in rapid fire, but they're usually questions they're things that go together. So, okay, so here's an example. Okay, Menadel, is today Thursday? Today's Thursday, and is it sunny outside right now? Did we have rain yesterday? Yes. Did I cook dinner last night? See, no, I didn't cook dinner last night. I have to wait because I knew I didn't cook dinner last night. I wait for the answer. It's a totally different thing. See, that's how that works. I did not cook dinner last night, and I better hurry up, or it's not gonna be no dinner tonight either. I need to get out of here. So, I hope that helps. If people have more questions, of course, you can leave them in the comment box, and I will do my best to answer them. You know, I do not suggest at all that you use your pendulum to contact negative entities. I highly recommend against that. I know some of y'all are going to do it anyway. I do not recommend that. That is advanced. Just like calling any negative entities is advanced. I do not recommend that. I suggest that you stick to your guardian angel and just get it to, please show me yes, and let this thing show you yes. Get your yes lined up. Your yes should be clockwise. Every time you ask your guardian angel, call them by name, your yes should be clockwise. If you, for some reason, are please show me yes, and you're getting a counterclockwise, put this thing down. You do have to charge your pendulum. So what I do is I have a quartz cluster. I set my pendulums on that at night usually, because my other pendulums are in my office that I used to do my videos in. But I have pendulums that I keep with me all the time, and those I keep beside my Bible. I use the Bible to charge them, and they're beside a candle, so they're constantly being charged. If you have one pendulum and you use that thing all the time, if you're a female, when you go into your cycle, bury it into some, or whatever your element is. I'm an earth sign, so I was burying mine in the sand while I was on my cycle. And if you're a male, new moon, bury your pendulum into, or do, whatever your sign is, set it beside a glass of water, beside a candle, whatever during new moon, let it recharge. And then the first thing you do is, are you clear? Ask your pendulum, are you clear? Because it takes in a lot of different energies, and you do have to clear it out, just like with anything else with the incense or whatever, you got to clear it out. And it's not bad to use it a lot. That's not a bad thing. In one of the books in the course, the lady talks about how she took the pendulum to the store to help her pick out clothes, which I have done. I've taken it to, but this lady, Gentile, she went to the extreme. She took this thing to the store. She said, tell me what you want to have for a special dinner. This thing picked out lobster and all kinds of stuff. It's just like, okay, anyway, general kind of Gentile type of stuff. So, but I have used it to figure out, okay, will these diapers fit my son? Oh no, they won't fit. Or like if I have a choice between going to two stores, I'll go into one store and I'll say, will I find a better deal I did this. I was looking for shoes for my son. I was like, will these shoes fit my son? No, they were too small. And then I went into Target and I was at Walmart and I went to Target. I was like, well, will these shoes fit him? I didn't use my pendulum to ask if those shoes would fit him. I got the same size. They didn't fit. I still had to take them back and get another size, but that's because I used it on one end and then I didn't use it. I just asked in general, should I just go to Target instead? Because I was looking at the stuff I was getting at Walmart and I was like, I'm going to waste my time getting in this line for this stuff. And I bet I can get everything else at Target. And I did get everything else I needed at Target, except I got the wrong size shoes. So I have used it like that. I have used my pendulum. I don't use it too much to make choices between stuff because you can't really ask this or that question. You have to ask a yes or no question. And so I'll say, oh, should we have X? Should we have Y? Should I do this? Or like, do I need to worry about this? And it'll say yes or no. Sometimes I do stuff I do need to worry about. I need to work on. That's a good confirmation. Sometimes it's not stuff I need to worry about. It's going to take care of itself. I don't worry about it. I let my guardian angel kind of give me the information. I also still suggest that you work on like your intuitive part where you don't have to always use the pendulum. So I don't use mine quite as much. I use it when I have something that's bothering me. So I use it to give me peace by just asking the question and walking away. I mean, if the thing says, yes, I need to do that right now, then I can stop what I'm doing and work on it. If the thing says, no, I don't need to worry about that right now, then I'll come back to it when it's important. I'm not going to worry about it. And I use it to give me peace of mind and to help me organize my day and to structure things so that I'm not wasting time on a bunch of stuff that doesn't make a difference. But you can get these messages directly too if you just work on keeping your mind quiet, your breathing exercises. You don't use the pendulum in place of your relationship with the Most High. It's a tool, as I always talk about. You have a lot of tools in the toolbox. The problem is that people take these things and they make them their God. They worship them. That is not what I'm saying to do. Use it as a tool in the toolbox, okay? Divining is a tool. It's a method. It's not the answer. It's an answer. It helps, okay? That's how you look at it, as your sidekick, as your, like my guardian angels, my appointment setter, as your assistant. It's not taking place for the answers that are within you. It's helping you get those answers out in a way that gives you peace so you're not so distracted by the questions that are going in your head. You ask the question, let the thing tell you, and then keep moving on. And sometimes you have to ask questions over and over again. Very frequently, I have to ask questions over and over again. It doesn't matter. You ask the questions as much as you need to until you have some peace. Then when you have some peace, you move on to something else. It's very, very, it's not complicated. It's just that we make things complicated by not using the tools. The tools are here for us to put less of a burden on the Most High. That's what we don't want to be, a burden. We don't want to be like the 2/3 out here running around doing crazy stuff and can't carry our own weight. We're co-creators. And if you're like the 2/3, they're co-creating nonsense. You want to co-create useful things, and you co-create useful things by using your tools to help you figure out how to make your decisions. Instead of everything go to the Most High as every single time, and I almost forgot. I absolutely use my pendulum to get my guardian angel to bring me information. So, like, I'm going to do a video in a few minutes about glamour magic. So I will say, Minadel, can you please bring me some useful information on glamour magic? And they say, yes, thank you so much. Use it to, if you're trying to figure out an answer for something, ask it to bring you the information. If you're looking for information, books, whatever the case, this is why I don't have to buy books. I will say, can you please bring me a book that gives me X information? They'll go out there. Somehow I'll end up stumbling across it. It's not hard. It's just you got to use the tools you have. If you don't have a lot of money, it's not about going out and buying a bunch of books or a bunch of anything. You have your pendulum. You say, I need to pay X, Y, and Z bill. Can you go get this money? Tell me how I'm going to get. Can you help me get the money so that I can pay this bill? The guardian said, oh, yeah, sure. I didn't even think that was an issue. You were thinking about that. They don't know what we're thinking. They can't read our brains. They don't know what's vexing us, So we have to, unless you're projecting it on the outside, and by the time you're doing that, it's a much bigger problem. But they don't know in general what's vexing you. So you have to let them know this is really bothering me. Can you do, or like me, I need to move out of my house. I'm like, am I going to be able to move by this day? Am I going to have the money for this? Y'all make sure I tell them, can you please make sure I have everything that I need because I have to do X, Y, and Z, or like I don't have a car. Okay, can y'all please make sure that I have a car by X, Y, and Z because I need to do this, or tomorrow I'm supposed to be going to do something. I'm like, will I have a vehicle to be able to go? And they're like, yes, okay, I'm not worried about it. The answer is the answer. If the answer was no, I'd have been like, okay, well, I'll just prepare myself for that. The answer is yes, pending, I do everything. And sometimes they say the answer is yes. And like I said before, it may be to placate you because it is yes, but it's not yes right now. And getting the whole timing issue, once you understand the tarot spiral, it'll be easier to ask timing questions. But it's hard to ask timing questions when, your time is different from their time. You have to kind of explain. Once you build a relationship, they'll start to understand. But if you have the tarot spiral, that's the cosmic clock. So that's why these things go together. And it may not seem like this stuff goes together, but it does. I just haven't explained it all because it's so much. Like, I want people to get the first thing first, which is everybody, all ladies by now. I have almost 400 over 400 subscribers. Everybody should have a pendulum. Just, if you don't have a pendulum, get a rock and put it on a string. You should have something that you can communicate with your guardian angel directly. If you having money issues, you can use your pendulum to help with that. When I do my yellow candle on Sundays, I use my guardian angel to activate it. I also activate it with Michael. I'll activate it with the Most High and the Mother too. I have everybody activated so that the request that I'm making, instead of it being at the bottom of requests for everybody who's asking, it's going to go to the top of the list. Why? I got signed off by my guardian angel. I got signed off by the archangel. I got signed off by the Most High. I got signed off by the Mother. That's 4 cosigns. That means y'all need to handle this now. This is a top tier priority. But if you just lighting a candle and then you're not following up with activating it by your guardian angel, that request, it's going to get answered, but it's going to get answered on this clock right here. And you don't even know that there's a clock. You don't even know that there's a clock. There's a clock. There's a time when your request is going to be answered. So it's going to get answered. But if you need it like now to give you peace of mind now, you got to pull rank. I mean, that's the whole point of this. Not that you're supposed to do it for wickedness. Again, 2/3, not for wickedness, for peace for yourself. And so I just give all these information to you as a tool. And of course, if you have more questions, leave them, like I said, in the description box, and we'll go through and answer as many of them as I can. I'll probably do more videos since people seem to be kind of getting into this stuff right now. Of course, I have the class on sale right now. I've got pendulums. We've got more products coming out that's going to be helpful for grounding and for charging us up. So definitely stay tuned for some more videos at that. And if you like this style of video, just let me know, because I like doing lives, but I get distracted by lives. And so I'm thinking about just doing more like kind of these type of things. So to the spirits who are here, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace. And always remember, the Most High is your peace. Shalom.